Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon. I am Riot with Guerrilla Poets, and I know that a lot of people are feeling super stressed and bored and feeling pretty lonely right now, especially if they're isolated inside their house. So Guerrilla Poets wanted to do a really cool series where we engage the audience with some workshops, which is super cool because I think it's really needed right now. A lot of people don't know what to do. A lot of people are kind of freaking out. So this will be a good way to get some healing and some poetry and music and art done. And we're also partnering with Center for Faith and the Arts. If you don't know that nonprofit, please check them out. But today we're going to talk about metaphors, and we're going to talk about how poets get these really cool, deep metaphors. So many times I've heard poets give responses to other people's work, and they're like, man, I wish I could write like that. And how did you come up with that concept? And how did you get those deep lines and get so specific in your metaphor, right? Well, there's a few techniques that you can do to get that, and I'm going to share them with you today. Haha. I got my coffee, my little raccoon mug. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So, this technique that I'm about to show you is a really cool way to get some really abstract, really specific, beautiful metaphors in your poetry. So I was at an open mic, and there was a poet there named Bud Caywood. He is regional. He's incredible. You should check him out. I'm sure he has a Facebook page. And his metaphors were just beautiful and so deep and so original. And I asked him after the reading, I was like, how do you get your metaphors? Like, how do you make those connections, right? And he was like, well, let me show you. There's a trick that I do. And I guess he invented it, but we're going to say for the sake of lack of knowledge that he invented it. So it's called a metaphor map, and it's super easy, super cool, and highly effective. So let's say, for example, you have a line in your poem that says, my soul was cold, right? And you're like, like, cold is kind of surface level, it's kind of cliche. This line really isn't hitting the way I want it to. Well, what you would do is you would take the word cold, right? And you would write it down. I'm going to show you. You would write down the word cold like this. And you would basically play the word association game. So, for example, cold makes me think of ice. All right? Ice makes me think of melting water. Ice also makes me think of chipped glass, because it kind of looks like that, right? And chipped glass makes me think of, I'm going to say, broken mirror. Broken mirror makes me think of cracked. And you would do that. So you would basically take the word and play the word association game. And that's how you can branch out from that word and get deeper metaphors, more specific words. And you're also building a word bank so that you can use all those words in your poem as well. And it's super cool. So for example, if my line was, my soul was cold, if I do this metaphor map, right? Now the line turns into, my soul was a cracked mirror, which is a whole lot deeper, and it sounds a whole lot cooler, right, than my soul was cold, right? So you can keep going with this. You just play the word association game and keep going and keep going. And before you know it, you've got all the words that you need for your poem, and you've got some really heavy-hitting, deeper metaphors instead of just surface level. And it's super cool. So I love doing this. It's fun too if you have like writer's block. Some people don't believe that that's a thing. But if you're stuck, you can use this and you can actually come up with material to write your poetry. So for a lot of us poets, we get our inspiration from life, right? And it's really hard for us when we're stuck in the house. But here's the thing, y'all. There is beauty all around you. Everything is a prompt. Everything. So what I want us to do today is I want you to take something in your house, wherever you are, just look around the room you're in, and I want you to pick something, and you're going to use that as your base for your metaphor map, right? I'm looking at the lamp right now, okay? So I'm going to take the word lamp, right? And I'm going to write it. And we'll play the word association game and build my metaphor map. So lamp makes me think of light. Light makes me think of holy. Holy makes me think of divine. And don't think too much about it. Like literally write down whatever comes to your mind, right? So divine makes me think of love. Love makes me think. It'd be interesting to see like our poems and like how different they might be, even though we picked the same subject. That's like, metaphor is seriously it's like the one thing in our English language that is infinite. There's a few letters in the Hebrew language that are infinite, meaning like the meaning of them goes on and on and on for forever, and metaphors do that. And that's the reason why I think poetry is like the closest we can get to divine language that we're capable of having. All art is really. Because anybody can connect with it. It's super cool. Well, that's an interesting turn. Another cool thing about doing the metaphor map, y'all, is that you can actually see kind of like where your brain is right now subconsciously. It's like a really cool way to connect with your subconscious. It's pretty neat. I guess that's why psychologists use it too. When, you know, you're in session and they're like playing the word association game with you and you're like, what is the point of this? If you write it down, you can see what the point is. So here is my metaphor map for lamp. So I went, here's my word bank basically. Light, hymns, scripture, holy, divine, love, wings, God, universe. On the other side, I've got shedding, like shedding light, soul, snake, reaping, bite, apple, metal, steel, man-made. So already I can see that I took the concept of a lamp and I'm getting like this biblical like thing going on. We've got apple, bite, snake. We've got holy, divine, love, wings, hymns, scripture. So this should be interesting poem to write. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my words, right, and I'm going to set them up above me. And I'm going to take another sheet of paper and I'm going to begin to write this poem. And the easiest way to do this, if you don't know where to start, because like I'm looking at this and I'm like, how in the hell am I gonna tie all this together, right? Like I can see it, I can see the potential of it, but I'm not really sure where to start. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a few of my favorite words and start there and try to weave a sentence from them, right? So let's start out with the simplest thing, and where like I really like the little connections going on. So like the light, hymn, scripture, holy, divine, this whole area. I'll show you this whole area right here. I'm really drawn to that area. So I'm going to start there and I'm going to weave some of these words together. So sometimes it helps if you get the hardest ones out of the way too, like wings. I don't know how I'm going to tie that in. So let's pick that one. I'm really leaning towards holy and light. So let's try to make a sentence out of this, right? So I'm going to start holy light. Bends its wings. That's the cool thing about poetry too. It's like, what the hell does that mean? It's whatever you want it to mean. Sounds pretty though. Holy light bends its wings. The universe hums, which is a good one for light bulb as well, because it, you know, everything has like an energy, and like the light hums, right? So holy light bends its wings, the universe hums hymns, because we got some alliteration going on there, and I love alliteration. All right, so we got holy light bends its wings. The universe hums hymns. Let's see. The divine, I'm going to jump now. Come over here. The divine shedding. Well, let's see. What does light shed? Well, it sheds darkness, right? So the divine shedding of darkness. Ooh. Let's see. Holy light bends its wings. This is another thing I do too. I will go back. Like if I'm building a poem that I'm not really sure, I'm just playing with words, I'll go back and read the beginning to see like, all right, where am I taking this? Where's the next step? A lot of times you want like a concept in mind, and you usually write the concept, like your end goal, at the top of the page so you can make sure that you're staying on subject. But with this, the fun thing about this is that it doesn't have to have a direct outcome or result, right? This is just you getting in the habit of writing every day and finding the beauty that's around you. And especially right now, that's super needed because like I said, y'all, there are beautiful things inside your home. They just need the attention of you to be able to appreciate them, right? All right, let's go back to this. All right. Holy light bends its wings. The universe hums hymns. The divine shedding of darkness reaps. Ooh, the sins. I didn't even have sins on here. Of an apple bitten. Ooh, right? I have no idea where this is going. It sounds really it sounds very Southern Baptist fire and brimstone, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Oh, that's another thing. Y'all can like mark them off too. Let me do that. Okay. The scripture of love, so let's mark those off, is what? What is it? Forgiveness. Woo! Okay. Holy light bends its wings, the universe hums hymns, the divine shedding of darkness reaps the sins of an apple bitten. The scripture of love is forgiveness. From the snaking, is that a word? It is now. I've given it life. Snaking metal of our man-made, snaking metal, man-made, from the snaking metal of our man-made what? What do I think is like taking over, right? Other than, capitalism. Ha! Let's see. From the snaking metal of man-made structures. Keep it vague, keep it open. I think that sums it up. Softening steel souls for God to enter. Ooh! Bars! So we did that in what? How much time has it been? I don't know. I've ran my mouth some too. But check that out. Now you have a poem that's, I would say, pretty beautiful. And it's a great way to appreciate the things in your house, go deeper into these things, and see that everything is a prompt, right? So I really encourage you to do this exercise because it's really cool. It also trains your brain to make connections to things around you, and it really changes your life. It really does, because it's like opening up a whole nother world that you didn't even know was there. So you weren't aware of it, right? And I do this all the time. So it's like wherever I go, like I'm able to look at something and see the metaphor in it, see the connection in it. And what's really cool about that is that you'll also start to see connections between people, so it makes you walk with more grace. It makes you appreciate the people around you more, and also the things in your environment. And please make a donation to Center for Faith in the Arts. They need some help right now. A lot of nonprofits are needing help. Don't worry about us, we good. Please donate to Center for Faith in the Arts. But I'm gonna read my holy light bends its wings. The universe hums hymns. The divine shedding of darkness reaps the sins of an apple bitten. The scripture of love is forgiveness from the snaking metal of our man-made structures, softening steel, souls for God to enter. All right, y'all. I love you. Please share your poems. These are beautiful. These are absolutely beautiful. Thank y'all for tuning in. And I'll see you later. And there'll be more Guerrilla Poets doing workshops like this on our page, so stay tuned. I think we got some music workshops coming up. I know Daniel's going to do something with guitar, so if you love hearing him, he is versifier in Guerrilla Poets. I'm sure Tariq Mixed Thoughts is going to do some stuff on hip-hop, and I think Lynn, we call her Mama Lynn, is going to be doing some really cool improv stuff. So super cool. Lots of stuff to look forward to. You are not alone. We love you. We're sending energy. I'll see you in an hour.